Hey, you alright? Welcome to another video. If you haven't been here before, my name is Georgie Jo and this is my channel where I talk all things books. So today I thought I would go through some books that I want to get read this summer, my summer TBR. I've chose 10 books from my physical TBR. Actually, I've chosen 9 books from my physical TBR and then one's on my Kindle. So yeah, I thought let's just go through them and hopefully I can get all these read this summer. I think summer's officially only just started and obviously it's 3 months, so hopefully I should get these 10 books read. So yeah, let's just go through them. Okay, so first off, I feel like summer is a good time to read like romances. I just think it's when it's nice and warm and you just want to read a nice fluffy romance, or you know, when you want to see people enjoying themselves and nothing too, like, not got to use your brain too much, you know, because you can't always do that when it's dead hot outside. So first up we have Summer Reading by Jen McKinley. So obviously I feel like this is the epitome of summer. It's literally called Summer Reading. It's a romance, 2 people, 1 summer, a love story they didn't see coming. I don't really know much about it. I actually picked this book up because I saw ages and ages and ages ago, I saw someone talk about it. I can't remember where I saw it now. It might have even just been on, like, you know, like the news sites on the internet. I don't think it was anyone on here that I saw, but I saw it somewhere, and it basically that the font inside this book is a dyslexic friendly font, so it's very different to most books, which I thought that's so cool because it's just something, if you don't suffer from dyslexia, it's something you don't think about. Like, I don't suffer from dyslexia, so I've never thought about how a different font might affect someone. So yeah, that was the main reason I bought it. So I don't really know much about the book. I just thought it was really cool that someone had released a mainstream book that you can find in most bookshops, even in like supermarkets and stuff like that, and it have a dyslexic friendly font. So yeah, don't really know much about it, but looking forward to reading it, and I feel like just the perfect time to read it is the summer. So that's the first book. Next up we have another romance, which is Can't Get Enough by Kennedy Ryan. So this is the 3rd one in the Skyland series, I think it's called. The first one being Before I Let Go and the second one being This Could Be Us. So it's 3 best friends basically are who the 3 books are about, and it's following their relationships, but these are very like contemporary romance where they're very real. They have very real topics. They're not like fluffy romances. There's a lot of emotional like scenes in them, a lot of stuff that I'm sure people can relate to, and yeah, they're not sort of your typical, you know what's going to happen, it's a fluffy romance. They're a bit sort of twists and turns and just how like life is in each romance, but the main part of it is that it's a romance book, so you kind of know that, you know, everyone's going to live happily ever after, or I'm assuming, I don't know, I've not read it, but I'm assuming everyone lives happily ever after. And you've also got the 3 best friends who are just really good characters. You just like, you want to be friends with them. That's how I feel when I'm reading it. So I'm really looking forward to reading this. The 3rd one is about Hendrix, who is in the other book, she's very like the friend that's always like, I would imagine her being in like LA and going to, oh I think, was it Atlanta she was in? I can't remember, but I can imagine her going to all the parties, and she's very like flamboyant and sort of a bit of a free spirit kind of thing, and I think she's a really, really good character. So I'm interested to see this book where obviously we're gonna delve a bit deeper into her actual personality. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading this one. So Can't Get Enough, Kennedy Ryan. Next up, moving away from the romance a little bit, we've got Games Untold by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. So this is, I think officially it's like, so it's leading on from the Inheritance Games, and the Brothers Hawthorne is the main series. So the Inheritance Games is a trilogy, which is the main series. Then you've got Brothers Hawthorne, which is a spin-off, and then there was another book as well that was a spin-off, and then there's this one. I can't remember what the other one was called, but then there's Games Untold, and then there's another one coming out in July, I think, that's called Glorious Rivals. So I want to get this one read before the new one comes out. I really love Jennifer Lynn Barnes's writing. I really, really enjoy. I just think her writing like gels with something in my brain, you know. I seem to find it really easy to read, but I'm also really interested in the story. I think this one is following on. It's the same characters as the Inheritance games, because some of the spin-offs has not had them all in, but I think this one does have them all in. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading it. Basically, the Inheritance games is about a girl who inherited this big fortune, but by this like random man that she didn't know, this random old guy, who the old guy had 4 grandsons who were expecting to inherit it all, but he left it to this like random girl, and he basically set up all these like games and mysteries, mind games, like puzzles that she had to work through with the 4 grandsons in order to get the inheritance. So the main trilogy I would really, really recommend. I think Brothers Hawthorne, you could probably not read it. Well, I don't know because I've not read this yet, but it wasn't my favourite, Brothers Hawthorne. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. Hopefully it's as good as the Inheritance games and it's better than the Brothers Hawthorne, but yeah, we'll see. I don't know, but I'm looking forward to reading it. So Games Untold by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Next up, we actually have a non-fiction book, which is Once by Gillian Anderson. This book is basically a collection of letters, anonymous letters written in by women about their different like sexual fantasies and the desires, stuff that they wouldn't necessarily tell people about. Maybe they're embarrassed about it, or they're very like extreme fantasies, and it's just kind of taking the taboo, I guess, away from women being like sexual beings and having these fantasies. So yeah, I have read I think 1 letter so far, maybe even 2, but I saw someone, I can't remember who it was now, but I think it was on TikTok. I saw a girl say that she would recommend reading it sort of over time rather than binge reading it. So I'm hoping to maybe if I get like a couple of letters a week done or something like that. It's quite a big book considering that they are just letters. So yeah, I don't want to sit and binge it because I want to enjoy it. So, and I've also seen that on Gillian Anderson's Instagram, I think it was, she's writing a second one. She's asking for people to write in at the moment. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading it. I think it's going to be really interesting and just very like maybe some things that make you feel a little more normal, and you realise, you know, people have all different kinds of fantasies, and you might be thinking, I have this fantasy but it's so strange I couldn't possibly tell anyone, and then someone's got the same one in here, you know. So yeah, I am really looking forward to reading it. So that is one by Gillian Anderson. Next up, we're back on the romance train, and we've got Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. So I have read the, is it Funny Story and what's the other one called? Happy Place. I have read those 2. I think I've read one other by her where it's like a writer and like a book editor or something like that. They're like rivals. I can't remember what it's called. It might be Book Lovers. I've read one other of them, but I've not read the rest of them. But I did enjoy Happy Place and Funny Story. This one's had very, very mixed reviews. But I saw Heather McLary recently. I think she gave it 5 stars. She really, really enjoyed it. So I am looking forward to reading it. I'm trying to go in with it with a completely clear, you know, unbiased mind, because that's obviously the best way to go into books. I don't want to feel like, sometimes I think if you see loads of negative reviews, you think, I don't want to read it now, you know what I mean, in case it is really disappointing. But I can only form my own views on it. So yeah, I think it's perfect time. It just looks very summery, doesn't it? A perfect time to read this book in the summer. So yeah, that's Great Big Beautiful Life, Emily Henry. Next up, I've actually got a duology that I want to get read. So we've got, I'm not sure which one is first, but we've got Rule of Wolves and King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo. So I think these are the last books I've got to read from the Grishaverse. So this is the Shadow and Bone trilogy and the Six of Crows duology are set in the same like Grishaverse, the same world, and these 2 I think are the last ones. I think they're following one of the characters from the Shadow of Bone trilogy, but I'm not really sure. And like I said, don't really, oh, so this one's first. King of Scars is first because this is the conclusion to the King of Scars duology. So Rule of Wolves is the second one. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting them read and sort of taking off the Grishaverse and finding out what's happening. I did enjoy the others. I don't think they're necessarily my favourite books, but I did enjoy them, so I definitely want to get these read, and I'd like to get them ticked off like sooner rather than later, you know. As well, I want to move on to other Leigh Bardugo books, but I want to get the Grishaverse done first. So yeah, that is those two. Next up we have This Wicked Fate by Kaylin Bayron. So this is the second one in a duology. The first one was This Poison Heart, which I read recently and really enjoyed, and I'm really looking forward to reading this. It ended on a way that, you know, I was wanting to read the next one immediately, so I ordered it straight away, and obviously it's here now, so I'm really looking forward to reading this. Kaylin Bayron, I think, is one of my favourite authors. I'm trying to get through her books at the moment. So This Wicked Fate, and then I think there's two more. I think she recently released one. This doesn't even have the new books on there, but I can't for the life of me. I think it's Sleep Like Death or something like that. Something, I can't remember. And then there might even be another one. Anyway, regardless, I want to get this one read. I'm really looking forward to reading it. It's basically following Briseis, who is she has these powers where she can manipulate plants, and plants are very sensitive to her emotions, and they move without her even meaning for them to, and she sort of can't control them. And she is adopted, so her parents don't have this power. She doesn't know where it came from. She is sort of just the only person in her life that has any kind of magical power. And then one day she gets told she's inherited this massive house from her biological family, who she doesn't know anything about. So her and her two mums go to this new house to sort of investigate, and just like you would, go and see what it's all about, why you've been given it. And then she discovers more about her powers and her biological family and stuff like that from there. But it's such a good story. It's so good. I was like hooked. I really enjoyed the characters, which I think is really important for me when I'm reading, because if I'm not like rooting for you, I'm just not interested in the plot. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I really like the characters, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how it ends. It's only a duology, I'm pretty sure, as well, so it'll all be concluded in this one, and it's not really that big a book. So yeah, really looking forward to reading that. This Wicked Fate by Kaylin Bayron. And then last but not least on my physical TBR is Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. Obviously this is the first one in the series. I've not read any of Alice Oseman's books, and I've not seen the Netflix show or anything like that. But I've had this on my TBR for so long, and I don't know what it is that stops me picking it up. I think maybe because I know there's like 5 more books after this one. But it is like a comic book style, and I think that maybe deters me a little bit, because it's not obviously a regular novel. I have read comic books in the past. Like I used to have comic books when I was younger, but, or even not even that younger, through like college and stuff. But I don't know why I've not read it, honestly. I've just been putting it off, but I definitely want to get it read this summer. It's definitely on my TBR. It's also been on so many of my like monthly TBRs or rest of the year TBR or whatever. So I'm definitely going to get it read this summer. I think it'll be a good one to do in maybe like a 24-hour readathon or something like that, when it's not, you know, because it is comic book style, there's not loads of words on each page. So yeah, I don't know, but I'm definitely going to get it read. So that is Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. And then last but not least, the book on my Kindle is Ruin Me Gently by Rachel Chadwick. So this is a really new author. This is her second book that she's put out. I found her on TikTok, and her debut book was Bone Deep, which is a dark romance. Ruin Me Gently is a dark romance, but Bone Deep is a psychological dark romance. I think that's what she called it. And I didn't really know what that was when I was going into it. I just thought it was going to be, you know, like a normal dark romance, but it was almost like a thriller mixed with a dark romance. That's how I can explain, and I assume that's probably what psychological dark romance means, but it was like a thriller mixed with romance. It was so interesting. I've never read a book like that before. I wasn't massively bothered about the romance part, and I thought, oh, it's just going to be a regular dark romance, and I'll read it, and you know, I really like this author, so I want to read her books. I wanted to support. And then it was so good. It got so good. So that was Bone Deep. So this now is a new book called Ruin Me Gently. I think this is going to be like an interconnected standalone series, I think. But I don't really know much about it. I know it's another dark romance. I don't know if it's a psychological one or it's just, I don't think it is. I can't remember what she said on the TikTok, but I'm really looking forward to reading it regardless. and it is on Kindle Unlimited, so I'm going to read it on my Kindle, and then if I really enjoy it I'll get the physical copy. I have got the physical copy of Bone Deep, which, like I say, I really enjoyed. But go into it, read all the trigger warnings, 100% read all the trigger warnings, and go into it with the sort of mindset that it's a psychological one. So yeah, that is the last one on my summer TBR, and that is the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did and you would like to subscribe, I would really appreciate it. But other than that, I will see you in a bit.